The real estate job search is a multi-step process, but the order you do these steps in actually matters a lot. And if you do certain things before or after you should, or if you miss some of these things entirely without even knowing it, you could be significantly hurting your chances of landing the jobs you're looking for. So to make sure you're making the right moves at the right times during the real estate job search, in this video we'll cover a proven step-by-step process for breaking into the industry and what I recommend doing in order to put your best foot forward and land the jobs you're targeting. So once you've decided that real estate is the career path that you want to pursue, the first thing you'll need to do is come up with a plan for how you want to attack the job search process. And while there are different ways to go about this, in my experience, there are really 5 critical steps that if you follow in order can drastically increase your chances of success. And step number 1 in this process is to focus on your resume first and to put together a rough draft of an update that explains your background and your skill set in the context of commercial real estate. Now, if you have real estate internship or full-time job experience already, this is obviously going to be easier than if you're coming from a different industry or if you majored in something completely different in school. But regardless of where you're coming from, this is where you need to get creative when telling the story of your background and what you can bring to the table. This means highlighting any Excel skills you have that could be applied to a real estate analyst or associate position, expanding on any financial modeling projects that you've worked on in school or on the job, or describing any in-depth investment analysis that you've been responsible for throughout your career to show that your skills and your experience could be directly applied to the job and you could get up and running quickly if you were extended an offer. Now, since at this point you're just starting the job search, if you're not all that familiar with the industry yet, you might not know how to actually go about doing this or what employers are specifically going to be looking for, and that's totally okay. This is really just intended to be a first draft of an updated version of your resume that you can come back to and put the finishing touches on quickly once you've started the other steps on this list. And once you have a first draft of your resume ready to go, the next step in this process is to shift gears to focus on building your network specifically through informational interviewing. Informational interviews are some of the best opportunities to build professional relationships and also to get a sneak peek into the different career options that are available to you within this industry and to figure out where you ultimately want to end up within this business. And to get the ball rolling with this process, I highly recommend starting your outreach efforts by reaching out to alumni of your university and trying to schedule some phone calls or in-person meetings, since these people are going to be some of the most likely to be willing to talk to you and share their experience. Many schools have alumni databases with email addresses or phone numbers that you could tap into, but even if that's not available to you, LinkedIn is a great resource to find and connect with these people, and running an advanced LinkedIn search for alumni of your university working in the real estate or leasing non-residential real estate sectors, ideally located in the city that you want to work in, can be a great way to narrow down your search and significantly increase your chances of getting responses to cold outreach. And the reason why you want to focus on this step at this point in the process is because building these relationships before you actually need them allows you to go into these conversations without desperately needing a job. And this also allows you to learn from the experience of other people directly to make sure that when you're ready to start applying for jobs, you're focused on the right opportunities for you that fit your interests and your goals. And if you treat these interactions as investments in your relationships and your long-term career growth, rather than going into these conversations immediately asking for something, these connections can end up being a great backdoor into job opportunities in the future and can make you a familiar name and face when that person is ultimately looking to hire. Now, once you've started the informational interviewing process, now is the time to move on to step number 3 of the job search, and this is to shift your focus to building your technical real estate financial modeling skills. In most cases, even if you do happen to be invited in for a job interview as a result of an informational interview, you'll still almost always have at least a few weeks to prepare before a modeling case study would be given to you. So putting this as step number 3 in this process can end up making your job search significantly faster, allowing you to build your technical skills as you go without having to wait to be an expert before getting started at all. By doing things in this order, this also helps make sure you have clarity on which skills you should be building, whether that's modeling a specific product type, focusing on debt side or equity side metrics, or even learning a software like Argus so you can be as efficient as possible with your time and learn only the things necessary to get where you want to go. This step is also really important when putting the final touches on your resume, since having a strong technical skill set on paper is often a prerequisite to being invited in for interviews in the first place. So before you start firing off applications, you want to at least get familiar with the foundations of real estate financial modeling and analysis in Excel to help you stand out when applying for jobs. And this leads right into step number 4 of this process, which is actually adding these technical skills to your resume and finalizing that first draft you put together early on. In step number 3, you may have taken Excel courses or real estate financial modeling courses, or even earned real estate related certifications that can all be added to a resume, and now is the time to tighten this up and use what you've learned through your informational interviews and your technical training to add these accomplishments and rewrite some of your experience bullet points to make you an attractive candidate for the types of roles you're targeting. For most entry-level analyst positions, this really doesn't take much, and your main goal should be to make it as clear as possible that you have the foundations mastered and you have the ability to build a simple, dynamic pro forma cash flow model given a set of assumptions, and you also know how to interpret those cash flows and calculate return metrics to analyze a deal. Now, once your resume is tightened up, you have a handful of connections in the industry, and you feel confident in your ability to pass an Excel modeling exam, you're finally ready to move on to the last step of this process, which is to actually start applying for open positions. The resume black hole is a very real thing in commercial real estate, and if all you're doing is submitting online applications blindly without going through these steps first, your chances of landing a job are usually pretty low. But when you do have all of these things lined up before submitting applications, this gives you a huge leg up during this process with the right keywords and phrases on your resume, connections in the industry that may be able to help you get your foot in the door for interviews, and the technical skills you'll need to make it through the interview process. This may seem counterintuitive, but by leaving the actual application process as the last step in the job search, you're making sure you're putting your best foot forward in those applications and also making sure you have seasoned relationships that may be able to help you during this final step. Now, obviously, everyone's job search is going to be a little bit different, but if you want to go about this process as efficiently as possible while maximizing your chances of ending up where you want to be, taking these 5 steps and taking these in order is the best way I know of to make that happen. And if you want to make sure that you are prepared for the real estate job search and you want to build the technical skills you'll need to add to your resume and pass an Excel modeling exam that might be given to you during the process, as always, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking a CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Breaking a CRE Analyst Certification Exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on this channel on the commercial real estate job search, make sure to hit the like button and let me know in the comments if there's anything you would add to this list or if you would move these steps around. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.